All right, I've got 6 o'clock, so we will bring the meeting to order. There is a quorum present. We'll start off with an invocation. If you bow your heads. Our Heavenly Father, I come to you this evening with a prayer of thanks, a prayer of guidance, and a prayer of wisdom. Thank you, Lord, for our city of Clyde and all the men, women, and children who have chosen to live and to grow here and call this community home. Thank you for the men and women that have chosen to work for our city. Let them know that they are appreciated for their time and effort to make this community a better place for everyone. Thank you for our emergency services, the Clyde Police Department, the Volunteer Fire Department, the Citizens EMS. Lord, be with them as they go through their daily task and keep them safe as they keep us safe. Father, be with this governing body tonight as we make decisions that will affect the city. Guide us in the right direction to help the citizens the best that we can. Lord, grant the citizens and the council the wisdom to understand that we cannot make everyone happy with each and every decision that we make, but we will try with all our hearts to do the very best that we can to make this place that we can all grow and call home. Father, thank you for the rain over the weekend. It was so nice to wake up and see the moisture along with a little thunder and lightning. Lord, you know we need more. You are our provider, and our prayers will be answered. Be with our servicemen and women here and overseas, and keep them safe. Amen. If you now stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
At this time, we will have a time for the council to make any announcement or comments that they would like to make. No action may be taken on these items. Anyone have anything they would like to go off with?
Yes. So, no other council comment? Okay, so I handed out this page today. This is because through council's direction and through citizens' input, we have tried to streamline and put our council meetings back in order the way that they're supposed to go. There actually is a whole set of rules for how council meetings go in every respect. Council meetings, city meetings, personal meetings, private meetings. And so y'all have a basic copy of that on the Robert's Rules of Order. That's how we generally construct and run a meeting. So on there, it just explains, and so everybody knows right now. So when we go into what's fixing to happen next is the comments section, the public comments sections. Y'all are welcome to speak on anything you want. Anything you want, with the exception of matters under litigation by our attorney. And direct, there's one other.
Personnel.
Yeah, direct personnel issues. Beyond that, you have 3 minutes you can speak. But the thing that gets confused and we forget about is that there is no council comment during public comment section. This is an opportunity for the public to tell us what you want us to know. If it's a question you have, then understand you're not going to get an answer right then. However, we are hearing it, we are listening to it after the meeting is over or the next day, or if you want to leave contact information, we will get to that question. We will address whatever it is that you're having an interest in. So it's not that we don't want to talk to you about it, it's that there is a set of rules for that. Same thing as we move on to our agenda items. When we move to the agenda items, every citizen can get on the agenda. You can submit a request to be on the agenda. Council decides if it goes on the agenda, but you can do that. When you get on the agenda, you can then speak about what you want to speak about, and council can speak directly back to you. So that's how you get that relation and that communication in that way. When we move to the agenda items, 1 through 5, whatever we have on here, that is a time that council will then be working and doing the business of the citizens. So you've had the council comment section, that's where you put your information out. When we have a public hearing, like we have 2 of them coming up here, that is a time for you to have that. There still won't be discussion between council and citizens, but you can put the information out. That's how we get the information from you. So you can put that out, but there won't be in the past, we've had just random questions thrown out and then council members going back and forth and stuff. We're getting away from that because it's not the way it's supposed to be done. And so I just wanted to give y'all an update on that and let you know that all of this that I've said is covered in our Texas Municipal League, in the State of Texas Constitution, and in Robert's Rules of Order. So if you have any questions about that, by all means get with me after the meeting or tomorrow. You're welcome to call up here or come to the office at any time during the day that we're here. Please come in, but understand, if you are asking a question and you're not receiving an answer from council, it's because that's the way it's supposed to be. But you do have the opportunity to speak pretty much on anything you want. So by all means, say those things. Okay, that's what I have for council announcements.
Okay. Nothing else? We'll move to 5.0, the public comments. As Roger said, this is a time for anyone. Anyone will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No council or board discussion or action may take place on any matter until such matter has been placed on the agenda and posted in accordance with law. All right, I do have 3 people that have signed up, so we'll start with those 3. The first one is Lonnie Keith. If you would come up, Mr. Keith, state your address for Ms. Thornton over here, and
Name Lonnie Keith. I live at 433 Eugenia Street, Bayard. Okay, my comments are, I'm very disappointed in your PD. I had 2 trailers stolen, did the police report. Within 24 hours, we found out where they were and everything. The police procrastinated to the point that the trailer that could have been recovered was never recovered. I contacted the city manager, and I tried to call the PD to find out what was going on, and over 2 months of leaving messages, never got a response. Contacted the city manager, told him what was going on. He says, give me a couple of days, I'll call you right back. Oh, and if I get too loud, my hearing aids aren't working right. Well, 10 days to 2 weeks later, I call, leave a message, ask him to call me back. I did this for 6 weeks before he would call me back. When I talked to him, he goes, yeah, I got your messages, but I didn't want to talk to you because I knew what was going to happen. Well, we talked a minute, and he goes, well, there toward the end, he goes, well, it's not the PD's job to recover stolen property. What job is it of the PD if it's not to recover stolen property and investigate crimes? If your city administration doesn't know this, something's wrong with that administration. I'm sorry, I'm getting loud. But I have a big problem with that. And I thank you very much.
all right, the next one, Lenny, you can come up here and state your address for.
Yes, Lenny Branton, 922 South 4th Street, Clyde, Texas. I just wanted to address, there's been, you're looking into clarification on paying the utility bills for those 65 and older. And I want to say thank you for doing that, because that is an issue to a lot of the older population that is on the single Social Security income, those that don't receive their pay, until especially the third and fourth Wednesday of the month. Also, I've been hearing from some friends that are on Social Security disability. They're not 65 and older, but still they are the single income. And so I was wondering if you could look into including them in that same, category. Because if, some of these people are paying their bills on less than $1,000 a month, and we know that's very difficult. And that would give them more opportunity to actually pay their bill on time without penalty, or to seek the help that they need from some of our agencies in town. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Sheila Barrow. If you'd state your address.
524 Cedar. Go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This refers to the second page, 8.2, public hearing on property that we haven't gotten to yet, but it's to change the zoning from neighborhood residential to conditional use for an RV park, and it is right behind my house. So I just have a few questions. I have one question, is the traffic in and out, egress is supposed to be off of Pecan Street, which is a street that stops right there at the property. It's not a through street to access road. And I wondered if the neighbors had been informed of this. The other thing is, I was told that the whole property will be fenced all the way around. And I would like to request that fencing be the first thing that goes in at the back of my house, as tall as possible. I'm not objecting to the use of it. I just want to make it as peaceful and quiet as could possibly be made with an RV park, right behind your house. The other thing is density. Are there any limits about RV parks here? How much room is required to set one up? I'm sure there's plenty of rules and regulations on sewage and all of that, But the other thing they may not think about is there's such a thing as a dark skies initiative. You may not have ever heard of this, but it's to limit the air, light pollution going up. And so I would like to request that be considered low lighting area instead of a lot of tall lights there. I presently have the First Financial Bank sign flashing into my bedroom window all night long. So I would like not to have some more of that added. The traffic would be going maybe down Cedar Street, around to Pecan Street, or down Elm Street, around to Pecan Street. So there will be probably more traffic on Cedar Street, and as it is presently now, if you meet someone coming toward you, you have to pull over because the sides are so deteriorated. And, trying to miss the trash cans in the post-off boxes and everything, traffic does not easily flow down Cedar Street. So I just wonder where all this traffic is gonna be going, how many units there might be looked at, and my fencing. I really do want that fence before the construction starts, if possible. Thank you. That's it.
So, Miss Sheila? That was her? Okay, you've already done these? Okay. Any other? Nope.
Any other public comment? If you'll come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Larry Caltech. Want me to spell that for you?
Please, sir.
Kalteich.
Thank you.
And I'm at 506 Cedar Street. I agree with her first, if this thing does go through, a fence down the backside. But my concern is, I guess, would be more financial, which just, if you want to know what our concerns are, who's paying for the off-sites for this RV park? Will that be the developer, the owners of the property, or is that going to fall on the city? Okay, and because I really think that the city shouldn't be obligated in that sense. And since our utilities are already sky high and whatnot, then we get into if there's hardly enough water things going around, I mean, if our water rates keep increasing, how are we going to subsidize the number of RV parks? Because there's another one going in on the other side of Cherry, So, I mean, this has got to be coming from somewhere. And I'm thinking RV parks aren't going to be the answer to bringing in and helping to fulfill the dreams and aspirations of our ballparks out here, okay? Unlike maybe a motel or something that would be a little more permanent to actually attract people to come in here for tournaments and whatnot. It's a beautiful field. I love it. I wish I could have played on one like that growing up. But the fact of the matter is, nobody's going to want to play out here, drive to Abilene, play out here, drive to Abilene. They're going to find something. And I heard rumors that Abilene's going to be putting a similar park into place. So, and then, might sound like I'm all over the board, but just hit on what little bit I can. And then the first gentleman that spoke today, wholeheartedly agree with him. Just recently, I have my daughter-in-law was involved in an accident out on I-20, okay? And she hit a 10:30 at night coming home from Walmart and took out a big black Angus cow out there, okay? The owner of the cow was eventually identified shortly thereafter and whatnot, was never cited, although that the city of Clyde laws, and this happened within the city limit, and the city of Clyde is not a free-range area. So there's no excuse that the owner of that cow was not cited. So the insurance claims against that, and the insurance is a whole other thing, but the insurance claims were being denied because the owner of the cow, and I'm not going to point fingers or give names, simply told the insurance, Texas is a free-range state. I have no responsibility unless you can prove negligence. That's not the case. There's no negligence needed to be proved if it's on an interstate. If it happens out on I-20, okay, there is no such thing as the free range. If it happens within the city of Clyde, the city of Clyde's not free range, okay?
Your 3 minutes is up, so thank you.
Okay, very last thing. So when asked by the police, because that was the only way we could get insurance, asked the police why the owner of the cow was not cited, this was simply stated, no, we talked about it and decided not to,
Okay, thank you.
okay?
Any other comments in the public comment section? Here, yep, you'll come up to the podium here. State your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
I'm Jonna Caltech, 506 Cedar Street. It's Johnnna. Kal.
Same as him. Got
Same
it.
as him. I live with, promise I will not speak as long as he does. We moved here about a year and a half ago. The reason we moved down to Clyde is because our son is stationed at Dyess Air Force Base with his family. And we absolutely adore our grandkids. And so they actually looked for and found the house from us because we lived out of state. And then they walked into the house, they said, oh, this is a grandma house, this is grandma's house. And we love the city, we love the neighborhood, we love the neighbors, and we love that nice field in back of us. And knew it was for sale, wished we could have afforded to buy it, but we couldn't. And so we knew that houses would probably eventually go in there, which, was fine. And then I was really chagrined to find out they were gonna put an RV park back there. I think that takes away from the neighborhood feel. I don't know why it has to be so close to houses. And I feel like we're on Social Security only, and we're paying enough with our water and our property taxes that have doubled since we've moved here in a year and a half. It's just really bad now. It's like, do we even want to stay in this house? We don't have much choice, but it's like you got that ambiance of having that living in the city but being in the country feel, and now we're putting an RV park in there. And RV parks, God bless them, but those places are transitory for a lot of people, and we don't know who's coming in, what they're gonna do, how much the police presence. I was happy to learn there's gonna be a fence, but, we just don't, that's a lot of, what's that gonna do to our property values? Is somebody gonna wanna come in 4 or 5 years from now if we have to move and go, hey, I wanna live here because there's an RV park in the back? I also feel, and I just found out where they were gonna have the entrance for it. My feeling is, they're gonna have an entrance for it, it should be right next to the building of the guy who bought the land and wants to put the RV park in. Instead of coming down Cedar or Pecan, I guess that's Elm, the fella has his business at, let the cars go by his place instead of down a residential street with, kids, dogs, old people, narrow street. Why should we have to bear the brunt of all that traffic? The cars go fast enough, they go over the speed limit. Let them go down the street and buy the fellow's business. Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Dwayne, you got a comment?
Dwayne McWhorter, 509 Cedar Street, and all those old people, they're my neighbors. Yeah, used to be a quiet neighborhood, but anyways, I'm addressing this RV park. Our neighborhood, Cedar, Pecan, Elm, the whole area right there's got, seniors living there. There's a couple families out there, kids. I do septics for a living, and I've done several of these RV parks, and they're going up everywhere for all this AI stuff. When y'all talk about this and decide on it, okay, when this AI stuff's gone, that RV park's gonna be riffraff. And I agree with the bank sign. I sit on my front porch. It's like a night light flashing. But the traffic, we've got light to heavy, medium traffic on our street. Some of them think it's a drag strip. It's cut through from the access road to downtown. And I really don't want to sit on my front porch and watch these people come in with RVs, getting in the RV park. Like she said, we don't know who's coming, who's going. I see, just like any other RV park, there's gonna be late nights, partying, noise. We have a nice, quiet neighborhood. You go a couple miles this way, that way, or that way, you got the county. Plenty of room to put RV parks where they belong, not in the middle of a residential neighborhood. I'd rather see houses go up there, even a mobile home, because it's not just gonna hook up and go. So that's my thoughts on it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Dwayne. Anybody else would like to speak? Yes, sir, come to the podium here.
Gary Day, 507 Elm. I understand this property's already rated R, right, for residential? Is that true?
We can't answer that. We can't answer that.
You can't answer that? Okay. Anyway, I would like to leave it the way it is, no commercial back there, unless you restrict the commercial heavily.
Yes, sir. Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none, we will close the public comment section and move to our consent agenda. 6.1, consider and act upon approving minutes from the regular meeting September 23rd, 2025 as printed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Mann, second by Councilman White. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. That moves us to 7.1, presentations. The first one is for Jonathan Furman for 5 years of service. See here?
There he is.
I'm gonna read this stuff this way so they can get us the picture. So, Jonathan Furman, in recognition of your outstanding service and dedication to the city of Clyde, we commend you for your 5 years of service. And then our next one is Chad Boyette. I know you're back there hiding. Yeah. So, City of Clyde presents their certificate to Chad Boyette in recognition of his outstanding service and dedication to the city of Clyde. We commend you for your 10 years of service. Right. So that brings us to 7.3, presentation by BLTRD LLC.
That's just for hers.
Thank you.
Y'all, remember them?
That's one.
Just y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the slide here?
Or that way, they can get, everybody over here can see this.
Okay, my name is Dr. Nguyen. I'm representing a group of Texas investors and developers. And back in March, we have a chance to visit Clyde. And we are so happy because like we were able to align the vision of our group with the city. And thank you for the leadership of the city administrator, Mr. Roger Brown, and city staff, and with the mayor, Mr. Paul McGuire. So today, we would like to come and update to the city council and also the public community some of the progress that we had, the shared vision that we had, and what we will be doing, and also what we try to accomplish for the city and for us and for the city of council. Okay, so we are happy to let everybody know, and the city council is like we finally was able to close the buying of the phase 1 of the 160 acres of the land on the I-20 inside of the city limit on October the 10th. And also on October the 15th, we were able to close the adjoining 38 acres next to that previous land. And it's good that to know that all of the 2 pieces of property we are looking at and we closing is adjoining to the Henner Sport Complex. So we'll be enhance the value of the Henner complex and use the synergy between the Henner and our land development. And today only me here. I have Mr. Paul Tar, He's one of the very well-known land developer with 40-plus years of land development. He did a lot of land development in Texas, in Hawaii, in Asia. And now he come back and join us to do this particular project. So what is our shared vision for city of Clyde growth? We want to build the Clyde future, and we want to build together with our projects. And what we are, our vision that we have shared with the city of Clyde and the leadership here is like we deeply committed to support the growth of the Clyde community, and we want to align with the long-term vision of Clyde while we are doing our projects. Our team really appreciate the leadership and dedication of the city council, the mayor, the city administrator, and the city staff to get us to the stage of today, and we hear more update of us. And we would like to seek further support and collaboration between us and the city to make that into the final result that will benefit everybody. Together, we envision a vibrant, sustainable, and a smart community that attract new residents, new businesses, and investment also to Clyde. And the name of the project that we combine everything, we call it, the name is Start Clyde AI Gateway. And we will start with our first project is 38 acres along the side of the I-20 and adjoining to the Henner Sport Complex. And what we will bring is a mutual benefit. We bring the jobs, we expand the tax base for the city and the community, and we enhance the local infrastructure for everybody in the city of Clyde. Okay, so next I would like to introduce my business partner, Mr. Poda. I have 40 years of land development to talk about the project location and some of the 3D rendering about our 38 acres.
Thank you, Dr. Lu. My name is Paul Tang. I am a developer in California. This is the 8th time I came to city of Clyde within the last 5 months. It's showing that we are very interested in joining the city for this development. I would like to update the project as of today. This is the location of the project. We have 2 projects, as Dr. Lu just mentioned. The first one is 38.3 acres. The second one is approximately 160 acres. This project, we plan to develop it into 3 different parcels. This is development concept. The first one here, that's about 70,000 square feet of commercial retail. The next one is the 4-star wellness brand name hotel. There's approximately 160 rooms. The third one is about 300 unit apartment. We plan to develop it into 2 phases on the apartment. We would like to say thank you very much for the mayor and the city administrator and all the staff here to support us. As of today, we get the tentative map approval, and we are working with Jacob and Martin, the local engineering firm, to design the detail of our project, hopefully, and scheduled to be completed by the end of this year to submit to the city for final approval. Upon having the final approval, we are going to invite the bid and to start the construction of the street and the wet utilities right away. And during that, the construction of the underground utilities, we are starting the building of the vertical of the apartment here. We developed the apartment in two phases. Phase 1, about 150 units, and phase 2, about another 150 units. At the same time, we are going to work with the brand name hotel developer to design and to start the construction of the 160 key hotel room with the wellness, because we have, as you all see, the lake. We would like to maximize the usage of the lake as the landscaping and for the wellness center, where a lot of people working at Abilene in the on the started project. They have a lot of pressure. They need a place to relax. And then all the people in the area here, they need a place to relax, because right now it's very stressed for us to work in that kind of society. Okay? So we need more time to relax. And this is the first one in Clyde City and the first one in Callahan County too. That is what we plan to do. We wanted to show you about the Gantt chart. This is the rendering here. This is the commercial. We bring that the people from Abilene to Clyde here, and when the people come in here, because there are a lot of construction workers in the data center, in the Stargate project, they need a place to stay, and they don't have it. And we are going to make it, City of Clyde is a unique place to attract the people to come here, okay, like at the Hainer Sport Complex. Right now, the big shortage of hotel, big shortage of the food center, big shortage of the housing, but not residential yet. They need a temporary is the apartment. That's a big one. Based on our study and with our discussion with the executive here in the city here and in Abilene, we know that right now about 10 to 12,000 construction workers coming to work in this area, okay, in Callahan County and in Taylor County. They don't have the place to stay. Just most of the apartments are Class B or Class C, building that back in the 70s, the 80s. Only one project in Allen Ridge, they have about 500 unit apartment, Class A, on completed. The next one will be available by the end of this year or early next year. We are lucky to have the project here with full support of the city, provide the availability of the utility for us to start development right away. Especially in Clyde City, the process of approval is tremendous. I developed in a lot of states and then the other city. It takes the processing of approval for tentative and final approval. Minimum is 2 years to 3 years. I have one project we submitted in 2001 in San Diego County, California. I get the final approval in 2018. Can you believe? Over here, about 2 months to 3 months. So that I talked to all of my that development partner, come to Clyde City here to work, because the people here is very friendly, very supportive. Okay. This is the hotel. Okay, this is the Gencha development construction schedule. Okay, we have that the plan design. Okay, schedule to be complete that on the detail by the end of this year. Submit to the city and then that get approval at sometime the first quarter of 2026 and start the construction right away. Okay? And at the same time, we are working on the vertical for the construction of apartment. Okay. One more time, I would like to say thank you very much for all the support of the people sitting here in front of me here, especially that, okay, the mayor, okay, and the city administrator, that Mr. Roger Proud here. And thank you for all of the support from the community here. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I can tell you right now, without the leadership of the city, particular, Mayor Paul McGuire and the city administrator Roger Brown, we are not here today. Because the project is to a decent size, and if we don't have a vision aligned and with the support that we need, we're not doing it. And particularly the leadership of city and the staff been very helpful to work with us over the summer hurdle. And I would like to update you on things that we've done so far. So city partnership is crucial for us to succeed. And what is next step? So far, we have made a strong progress to the phase 1 agreement, incentive agreement to develop the phase 1 of the 160, and we'll be able to push that. Thank you for the lawyer for the city, Elaine, and our lawyers, Crystal, was pushed at the finish line the end of last week. And then that is set as a foundation for our collaboration and to momentum that we will be continue work with the city on the phase 2 incentive agreement for the phase 2 of the 160 acres, and to continue the development efficiently. And we'll try to push it to the finish line as fast as we can. Okay, we have a strong support from the city for the utilities such as the water, sewer, and related extension, and we work with the city to go over many hurdles to get us to the point today. And for the 38-acre vertical development, we will do the same of the mechanism that we work for the city. So right now, Jacob Martin engineering team, headed by Tao, are finalizing us the cost estimate for doing the vertical and so on. And we will keep the city and the city council update in the next meetings. With the city support, we have no doubt that we can accelerate the construction, we can attract investors for the vertical developments, and make Clyde a model for regional growth, not only for the Callahan, but also for the region too. Because we anticipate, Mr. Pota saying, when you have for example, the wellness hotel, this is very unique, not only for the 11 county around Callahan, the 13 county, but also executive from Dallas, from Houston, from Austin, and everywhere can come in and enjoy the special product that we provide here in Clyde. Okay? And that's it. To conclude our presentation, and we're open for any question like the city council, the mayor, and the city administrator have for us. And again, we appreciate a lot of your support. and we are happy here to work with the city to push that thing to the final.
Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. That was very, very good.
Anybody have any questions for?
No, you covered it well.
Explained.
Yeah. Yeah, very well.
Yes.
And the public community, if you have any questions, please ask, and we'll try to answer you as much as we can.
Will you keep the small town feel?
Yes, definitely, because like this one is a Star Clyde AI gateway that is in within that realm adjoining to the Hennes Center complex. So we can want to attract business, attract visitors, but you know the city of Clyde still remain everything intact. Thank you. Any more questions?
What is a wellness hotel?
The Wellness Hotel is a model of the hotel that, based on the market study, is $900 billion and growing to $2.3 billion by 2030. And in the US ourselves, we occupy about 40% of that market share. So the concept of that hotel is like people can in there to have all of different programs like a yoga, like a massage, like psychotherapy, whatever to not heal your body, but heal your mental status.
Will you have an indoor pool?
Yes, definitely,
All
yes.
right.
Yes. Yeah, any more questions, please? Yes.
Will the apartments be affordable to the community at large, or are they gonna be so upscale?
No, actually, we just follow the costing model of the area. And then particularly, for example, we're looking at the model from Island Bridge, the lovely Island Bridge. And also, but the thing is like me and Paul have discussed, like we will put a lot more amenities for the apartment so people can enjoy the services and the, yes.
Speaking of the apartment, can you do a section of it for just seniors, 55 and older or 60 and older?
Yeah, yeah, that is something that we haven't got to that stage yet.
Okay.
We are in the stage of working with the city to have the horizontal development, we have infrastructure and everything, and we will bring in and partner with apartment developers. So once that we are at that stage, we'll have a discussion with them and get some of your input.
Okay.
And then we'll still try to find a product that fits with Clyde.
Okay.
Dr. Gwynn, I think the mayor's trying to get your attention. I apologize.
If you're done with that, they can ask you questions after it. We're gonna go ahead and
Okay.
finish
Okay,
our
I'm
meeting,
going to
okay?
conclude now. Thank you a lot for the time. Yeah, thank you, City Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome presentation.
Very good.
Thank you, Dr. Gwynn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, so we are going, that finishes our presentation section. We are going to move to 8.0, public hearings. 8.1, notice of public hearing on property located at lots 13 through 20, Block 2, S&K subdivision, Clyde, Callahan, Texas, and lots 1 through 5, and north half of Lot 6, Block 3, S&K subdivision, Clyde, Callahan, Texas. Request is to rezone this property to general commercial. Public hearing is tonight. City Hall, located, it's gonna be held at City Hall tonight, October 20th, at 6 p.m. Any interested parties may appear in the public hearing to learn more about this case and make their opinions known. So if anybody would like to speak during this public hearing on these lots, you can come up to the podium and speak. I think a lot of y'all did that during the original public hearing comment section.
Paul, do you want me to speak or not?
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like to, know.
So, everybody here that's the Cedar and all those streets, that's also my neighborhood. I have a business over there. I've been in Clyde for going on 30 years, and when I bought my office and developed that, my intentions wasn't ever to put an RV park. but I never in my imagination thought that we'd be the tip of the spear of the AI world in Abilene either. I had other plans with that land, and with what's going on in now Callahan County, there's a huge need for, temporary housing for folks coming here to work. Not exactly what we want necessarily in Clyde on a long-term basis, but on a short-term basis, these are folks that can come live here, spend money here, do those sort of things. Am I supposed to address you guys or them? Does it matter? Okay.
I think you're supposed to be addressing.
Oh, okay. Well, I like looking at them better. Anyways, so.
Can I
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
your name? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Neil Schultz,
Oh, Neil, okay, thank you. And your address?
281 Bronco Drive, Abilene 79602. But with everything that's happened in Callahan County in the last, 30, 45 days, I was kind of like, shoot, kind of changing gears. There may be an opportunity to fast track my real goal with that land, which was to develop it for, as we talked about, seniors. The one thing in Callahan County, particularly in Clyde, we have a lot of folks that live here, have lived here a long time, that no longer can live in their homes, but don't want to move to Abilene, but don't have anything here. So my short-term goal, which has now kind of become a longer-term goal, is to create that later. That's obviously a much more expensive project. And so my wife and I decided, man, this may be an opportunity for us to fast-track that, capitalize on the short-term money that could come in to do that. And, we want the high fences. I know when I talked to Roger and to Terry, that was something I insisted upon, because being a neighbor over there, I don't also want to see a bunch of RVs. I want a very simplified entrance and exit to it. I can't control which way they go, but they'll odds come out Elm Street. But I want to have the rules that you guys put in place. I want to enforce those rules. I don't want riffraff. I don't want late night. I don't want pets, any of that sort of stuff. If there's those problems, we'll kick them out. I'm talking to a couple of companies that may want to have the bulk or part of that property for their people coming in. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I'm gonna try to do that because it'd make, life a whole lot easier. I know we've talked about making this a less than 10-year type of a deal. So as the gentleman said, when AI leaves, what happens to that place? When that place leaves, it's gonna become a gated community with nice duplexes for retired people that have a tremendous amount of rules, so that we can keep it nice, so that the elder of this community have a place to go live when the time comes, and they don't want to keep up their houses and stuff like that. So, and as far as how many units we have out there, I know you guys have a plot in front of you. Because this was such short notice, I had to beg, plead, and borrow with an engineer to throw numbers up there. That has a much larger number on there than what we would do, because there's a lot of beautiful trees we wouldn't want to get rid of. We've already contracted with the tree guy that's going to come in and lift all those up and make them pretty. It's not going to be your nice, permanent, beautiful RV park, because it's not going to be permanent. This is going to be a means to an end for a period of time, hopefully not to exceed 10 years, but I'm going to guess 5 to 7 years, maybe up to 10. I don't know what is out there with the construction, so. Y'all can ask me questions, can you? Oh, no.
I think you've answered some questions that.
Well, I wanted to,
folks
yeah,
out there,
yeah,
And we appreciate that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not during, again, this goes back to council not commenting and everything.
Okay.
So, this is just for the general public to make their, to make them known, but not conversation back and forth.
So we can ask, no.
You can come by and see me, and I'll be glad to talk to
do
you.
it
Anybody,
right
I'll be
now.
happy to. I want to make this as doable of a thing as I can for everybody.
You can make comments and direction. Again, it's not a conversation that happens, but you could certainly say, or ask him, could I come see you, just like that. So
Yeah,
we definitely want you to get the information out, so.
My door's open. I know a couple of you guys have popped by and stuff, and I would be more than happy to visit with anybody and talk about concerns or what we're wanting to do.
I just wanted to know if you were doing both of them, if you are,
Both
there's
of them.
2 RV parks.
No, ma'am, just the one behind my office there. Just one on Main Street.
Yes, ma'am. Very good. Very good.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, y'all. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else want to speak to this public hearing? Would you like to speak to this on this public hearing?
I just couldn't hear you.
Sorry. I will speak up. All right, seeing no other comments in this public hearing session, and we'll close that, and we will move to 8.2, notice of public hearing on property located at lots 13 through 20, Block 2, S&K subdivision, Clyde, Callahan, Texas, and lots 1 through 5, and north half of Lot 6, Block 3, S&K subdivision, Clyde, Callahan County, Texas. Request is for conditional use permit so an RV park can be placed on the property. The property is currently zoned as neighborhood residential. The public hearing will be held at Clyde City Hall tonight at 6 p.m. Any interested parties may appear in public hearing to learn more about this case and make your opinions known. Anybody have anything underneath this public hearing? Okay, seeing none, we will close that public hearing and move to 9.0, our regular agenda. 9.1, consider with possible action adopting an ordinance of the city of Clyde through changing the zoning use destination of lots 13 through 20 of Block 2 and lots 1 through 5 and the north half of Lot 6 of Block 3 of the S&K subdivision, Clyde, Callahan County, Texas, from neighborhood residential district to general commercial district, amending the zoning district map for the city to reflect such change and adopt the zoning district map so amended. Mr. Brown or Mr. Davis?
All right, so, this is the spot now where we kind of can tell y'all what all we've done and what we've worked on and that part there. Again, it's not a conversation part, but it's the council now will start working on this. So I will give information to council that y'all will then be able to use to make a decision if y'all decide to decide on that. The one thing I want to kind of point out though is that this is just kind of step one of the two-step process. If council was to decide to rezone that property, then it comes to the next step, which would be council, and it's in this agenda package, so it is something we'll be working on tonight. At that point, you would make the decisions or discuss and talk about exactly what it is. Now, the best part about this is we've had some great comments from the citizens, so you've been able to hear excuse me, you've been able to hear the concerns of the residents right in that area that this directly affects. You've also been able to hear from the developer himself on what his long-term goal is. So I'd ask council to keep both of those in mind. A lot of the things that were addressed, the concerns, the traffic, all of these things is what council can work on during the CUP. Bottom line is this. You won't get to the CUP if this doesn't pass, so that's up to council. So right now, 9.1 is to consider and act on rezoning that property from the residential to the commercial. If council has any questions concerning just the rezoning part, not the CUP, again, then that's what we'll talk about on 9.1.
All right, one of the things that Mr. Schultz talked about was this was going to be 5 to 10 years, and then he would want to come in with duplexes. Would we have to go back and rezone that to a different thing to fit the duplex homes that we would put there, if that's what he decides to do eventually?
If we changed it again from, so residential to commercial tonight, and then we wanted to change it from commercial to multifamily, commercial to resident one, all of that is the same process as this right here. So in the rezoning, if council approves or disapproves, it's a very simple process. It is literally the landowner coming in and requesting a rezoning for that. So it's possible at that time that may change the zoning for whatever type of housing he wants to build, and then council at that time would decide whether or not to rezone.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to clarify that because I think that may help
Yeah.
some of the citizens.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's where your CUP will come into play strongly, that council can set those standards of the type of fence, how high the fence, the type of where traffic goes, how it goes in and out. You can decide on if after 5 years or 7 years or 3 years, it's gonna be council, this is what y'all will decide on. If it rezones, you'll decide what the developer will have to abide by. It becomes incumbent on the, what? You were shaking your head no to me.
We just need to be talking about the rezoning.
I know. All right, if you don't get to the rezoning, then CUP doesn't matter, but, so. Any other questions concerning just the rezoning? You're correct, thank you.
Any other questions for either Roger or Mr. Davis on the rezoning?
I have one. How far is this setback from the I-20 frontage road?
Terry, do you know currently off the bat how far it is from the I-20 frontage road to where the first part? That Froman's property isn't purchased, right? So you wouldn't be in that. So it's more than an acre, I think, before you even get to where that development would be, so. Yeah. If that first house was there, it would be right on the access road. But that first house and that section of property isn't part of it, so.
Okay, any other questions on that? So, if none, I'll entertain a motion to either approve or deny the rezoning request.
I'll make a motion to approve it. 9.1, I'm not reading all that.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So, motion by Councilman White and a second by Councilman Rector. All those in favor? Okay, that is gonna be a 2-2, so that means I get to be the tiebreaker. I really think right now we need to look at this some more. We got lots of citizens input here, and don't know that we're quite ready to do this. So I'm gonna vote against it. So that fails. Okay, so then with that, 9.2 doesn't come into play. So we will skip to 9.3. Consider with possible action adopting an ordinance of the City of Clyde, Texas, amending Chapter 13 Utilities, Article 1303 Water and Sewer, Section 1303.054, due date for payment, delinquency, return check charge of the Clyde Code of Ordinances to update provisions regarding due dates for the utility bills of elderly individuals, providing a repealer and servability clause, and establishing an effective date. Mr. Brown.
Okay, so I think there's some confusion about this, so I'm gonna explain that the best I can. I did put something out concerning this. The one thing that is different from what we originally put out is going to be the cutoff date after that 25th. So this has been on the book since 1997. And Ms. Branton had said 65 and older. It's actually 60, so it's 60. I thought that I heard you say something about paying the bills for that, and that's not it at all either. The only thing this does is change the due date of a person's bill who is 60 years or older. So right now, the way the city is set up, every one of us that has a bill, you get, the issue date is the last day of the month. So that issue date tells you how much you owe. Now, that then gets mailed out to you. You have until the 15th of the month to pay that bill. From the 15th of the month, if you haven't paid your bill, Then you have currently till the 22nd of the month. If you wait between the 15th and the 22nd to pay your bill, you will be charged a late fee because it's between that. No late fee from the 1st to the 15th for anybody. Late fee for everybody from the 15th to the 22nd. On the 23rd, if you still haven't paid your bill, your water gets cut off, and it's shut off until you pay the whole bill, which is the late fee and the disconnect or reconnect, not both, just one, and that's what I had said wrong. It's just the disconnect fee. That's a question. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm making sure that it's disconnect,
Occasionally,
not
we'll make
reconnect.
exceptions to roll the disconnect fee over till the next month.
Yeah.
But the penalty and the bill has to be paid.
Exactly. So it's
Yes.
not a reconnect to get it cut back on. There is no reconnect fee. That's something I
Unless it's
misstated.
after hours.
After hours.
If it's
Yeah,
after
they
hours.
cut it off after hours, but,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So that was one thing that I wanted to clarify that I had said, because I originally said you'd be charged reconnect, disconnect, and your late fee. But that's not the case. You will be charged the disconnect fee and the late fee on top of your bill before you get your service cut back on. Now that's what happens on the 23rd currently. So with this in mind, and again, remember, the main thing to know here is there's an issue date and a due date that your bill is due. So this explains it. This, we will adopt this amendment. All it is just cleaned up the language to affect the state law. This is exactly what the state of Texas tells us. So now, if a citizen, and believe it or not, this year I'm 60, so I could do this. So at 60 years old, you come up to City Hall, you make the request that I would like to have my due date changed to the 25th. What that does is, the only thing that it effectively does for a citizen over 60 years old is it gives you 10 extra days to pay that bill without a penalty. That's what it does. It does not change, it doesn't change a late fee if you don't pay it after the 25th. There's still a late fee there. But that is something that council, I'm fixing to address the council, that's something that this discussion you are gonna have to decide on because it creates a problem. Now, this is a good thing for a citizen who, say, gets their check on the 20th. I think school pays on the 20th. So if you're getting your payment, your check on the 20th, this is gonna allow you to be able to pay that between the 20th and the 25th if you work for the school or something like that. So that's good. What it doesn't help you with is we still have to close out by the end of the month. So now your due date is on the 25th. You're not gonna have 7 days of that little period where if you're late, you could still keep your water, you just got to pay the late bill. Because you're only gonna have at the most 6 days in the rest of that month. So that's the little bit of a problem that I see this causes. Now, still, if you pay your bill on time, no problem at all. That's the key. Pay the bill on time, no problem. So council's gonna have to look at, there's nothing that you can do about this. This will stay that if a citizen, and understand that the citizen has to come to City Hall, they have to request it, they have to prove their age, and that they are the resident of that address that they're requesting. Now, also, it doesn't get really put out there a lot, but it needs to know this, you can do that from now on. Do it once, and you can change your due date. You don't have to do it every month. So if you're 60 plus and you're gonna establish that you want your due date on the 25th, when you come to City Hall and set that up, that's what you let them know. That way it stays on the 25th, and that gives you that extra 10 days.
There's
Now,
3 things.
Yeah.
You have to prove residency, you have to prove that you live in the house,
Mhm.
prove that you are the main
It's in your
person
account.
taking the water, and your age.
Yes. And so now what council's got to decide here is currently, and I explained this at the very beginning, so currently, 1st to the 15th, no penalty. 15th to the 22nd, penalty. 23rd, cutoff. What we could do, what we've discussed and talking to the ladies who run the billing, we can change that from the 23rd cutoff date to the 26th.
Potentially. We need to get within code, and there's some logistics
Yeah.
that we need to look at, but that is a potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could look at changing the cutoff date for everyone. Again, this goes back to the fact there will be no penalty phase in between the 25th and the 26th for somebody who's changed their due date. It will be, your bill is now on the 25th, and if you haven't paid it by the end of the 25th, on the 26th, it gets cut off. There's not that leeway of that 7 to 10 days that you would have if it was on the 15th. So council's gonna have to look at deciding if that's what we do. If we change it from the 23rd for a cutoff date, so this would effectively, if everything stays the way it is now, this would effectively make us have 2 cutoff dates. So we're gonna have to divide that between whoever, signs up for this. So if we change it to the 26th as a cutoff date for everyone, then from the 15th, you no longer just have that 7 days, now you'd have the 10 days, from the 22nd to the 25th. So you would have from the 15th to the 25th now to have that late fee. You'd still be charged the late fee. Not over 60 who makes this request. There'll be no penalty for them moving their date to the 25th. So, is that clear as mud?
Pretty understandable. Guess my question is to you, Connie.
Okay.
I know you have processes in place where you can track who's on the 25th due date, who's gonna be on the 15th
Yeah.
due date. My problem with this proposal is if we move the shut-off date to the 26th, okay, well, the people that need the extension the worst have zero leniency, right?
Correct.
If the bill's due on the 25th, hey, sorry you didn't make it in, 26th, you're disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's fair, in my opinion. I don't mind leaving the current residents or those that have not requested this extension of the due date, leave theirs as it is. Can we not perhaps move that cutoff date to the 30th?
Well,
That's 5 days.
no. And the only reason is, you'll have to do it a certain way, but you have 1 month, it's only gonna have 28 days. That's why my original,
You can't do it the last day of the month anyway, because it messes with our bill calcs, we got bills to print, you have to have a couple of days to be able to do all that, to close out your month, to get the bills out.
so the most you might could have, David, would be 2 days. If you went from 25th to the 27th. So you have that 2 days. But, and I agree with you, that's when we went through this, the fact was, this hurts that senior if the policy is that you are going to have that penalty phase. Because even if it went, say you went to the end of the month, and say it was 6 days, every month had 31 days in it. At that point, even 60 years old would still incur the penalty. They would still get the late fee. So they're not getting away from that.
So if their due date was moved to the 25th,
Uh-huh.
so their late penalties would start the 26th.
Starts on the 26th.
Just like if it's due the 15th, you wait till the 16th, there's
Yes.
a late penalty. I understand that.
Okay.
What I guess I have a little bit of a problem with is, whether through illness or incapacitation or whatever, you get less than you get 24 hours basically.
It's true, but you've gotten an extra 10 days too, so, from what you were when you established it. And I'm not arguing one way or the other, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but you do have that extra 10 days
That you don't have currently.
with no penalty at that point. And everybody else is getting the penalty, so.
I guess my main point is if your social security check comes in on the 3rd or 4th Wednesday of the month, and I'm not there yet, so bear with me as I walk through this. But if it's the 3rd or 4th Wednesday, and you move that due date to the 25th, well then, now that's your new normal. Right, that's your budget. Okay, I have to pay the water bill, it's due on the 25th. I'm still gonna get it mailed out same time, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
So I mean, I'm gonna have it, but if my check's coming in that third or fourth Wednesday, and I move that due date to the 25th, in my mind, as a senior, I'm thinking, okay, this is my new reality. Bill's due on the 25th, right? And I may plan to come in on the 25th and pay it. But due to incapacitation, illness, anything like that, if I can't quite make it in on the 25th, I'm gonna come home next day from the hospital or from the doctor's appointment,
No water.
and I'm not gonna have any water.
That's correct.
Can we change?
I agree with the problem.
Do we have an option to change the 25th to the 20th and give each group 7 days?
No. State law, state of
Okay.
Texas said 25 days from the issue date.
You know, so I guess what I'm saying is, I'd be all for if we could go 27th, 28th, something like that, to give that, just that little window there of forgiveness, if something does arise.
Because of the billing cycle in the month of February, that is not gonna be possible.
Yeah, I can agree with Connie on this. So the way Encode works is they go in batches. So doing it like that, impossible for them to
Close out the
properly,
month.
adequately do the billing for the entire city.
Can't-
You just
I
can't
can't
have
do
it.
We're already pushing the envelope at the 25th, because let's say the 26th falls on a Saturday,
Oh, I understand.
and we can't do anything till the 28th. I'm already under the gun for processing and batching and all that.
And that takes a couple days to
It
go
does.
through.
I agree with you, David.
And I do too, but logistically,
No, I understand.
computer-wise and encode-wise,
Correct.
I cannot do that.
Again, we want to provide everything we can for everyone we can. Some things our hands are tied on. How do we get there? And that's what this discussion is
Right.
about. What,
And that's
what do
all
we
it
do?
is a
So, yeah.
discussion on how.
My original thought was 3 days. When this came up, that's what and I went in and I asked the ladies who actually do that part of it. How does this work? Can we do it this way? Can it be structured this way? That's when I start learning all the problems with Encode, which my argument then is, well, we pay for that. We dictate what it can and can't do, but it's also not that simple either, I found
Well,
out, so.
and this law's been on the books, 1997.
97, yeah.
So, have we looked at perhaps what other communities are doing to address this?
No, but I know that there are probably other communities that have different issue dates and due dates, or when they read meters. I'm sure that's something that they've established. I mean, I have not looked into that, hadn't given that a thought, so, the only thing that you could do there is to probably, and wow, you're talking about a huge deal, is to change your meter reading dates and due dates and issue dates. And I would be curious to know if it is worth everything that would take for the possibility that somebody might have that problem from the 25th to the 26th. I mean, I know it's a possibility, but it's a higher probability that changing all of that to accommodate that is not feasible at all. That's the probability of it, so. But again, this is council. You guys, the information is, it's a very difficult process on how these bills go out. Again, the difference between issue, due date, and all of that, and the fact that until just a few days ago, nobody, as far as I know, anywhere knew anything about this, you know, so, it just wasn't an ordinance that has been discussed in current, you know, and actually in decades, so.
So right now, what day of the month is the meters read or the
We pull the
count?
numbers on the 15th.
Pull the phone numbers on the 15th. So from the time that they're, so the time that they're mailed is 2 weeks. And then it's due a month after, a month later.
Right, that gives us 2 weeks to check any high readings, if something looks like it's not functioning, or if, you know, someone has used a bunch of water, you know, that gives us, well, we have 1,700 meters. So that gives us 2 weeks to get our numbers together, get them straight, get the bill calcs ready, get the bills printed, and get them out.
Would it, I mean,
What is the current disconnect fee?
$27.50. And if you want it disconnected after 5 o'clock, it's an additional $24.
turn it back on.
Yeah, did I say disconnected? Yeah, if you want it reconnected after 5 o'clock, it's an additional $24, which brings it to $51.50.
I'm gonna open up a whole can of worms, but.
Yeah, that's where I'm
But
thinking
what,
about.
if you backed up your meter read date and tried to buy you some time to get it away from this whole deal from the end of the month. Now, it may still, the 25th may still have to be the 25th based on this state law.
No, it's the 25th day from the issue date.
Okay.
So whatever your issue date is, it's 25 days after that.
Does state law dictate the size of the
So we,
But it, and I've had thoughts on, since we went to the digital meters and everything you look at online is true month, first of the month, to the end of the month. You know, what would it look like to meet them on the last day of the month?
And mail them out when?
Well, still give you 2 weeks to, yeah.
Well, you're looking at changing all the software. You're looking at changing all the bills.
Yeah, so everything is preset, so.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul, you would know more than anybody, I mean, not to say that it cannot be done, however, you're talking about changing the entire system of how everything is run in code billing wise. Okay. And that's including deal, so deal plays a huge part in that as well.
Those smart meters.
So our smart meters. So, it's a whole interface change pretty much.
And you are opening a whole can of worms to our citizens who are very accustomed to know that their bills are read on the 15th, due on the 1st, you know what I'm saying? There would have to be a huge, massive push for education and.
Yeah. So, what if we did this? I really don't feel like we're gonna have that many citizens partake in, or have that need, but there may be a certain percentage.
We've had 3.
Okay, well, those 3, I mean, it's important to them, right? I would assume. So, if our disconnect, what sets our disconnect date? Right? So, if we're given, let me work through this in my brain as we're talking, remember, I was gone all last week, so. Basically, normal customers have 7 days to get in, pay the bill after it's due, before it's disconnected,
Correct.
right?
15 days to pay the bill.
No,
No,
he
no,
said,
no.
he
7
said from when
days
it was due.
Of
when it was
the
due.
penalty.
Yes, you're
So
correct.
you're talking only about penalties.
Right.
Okay,
That's all I'm talking about.
okay.
So, if we leave it as is and the disconnect date is on the 26th, we as council should have a little bit of leeway in what to do with that disconnect fee for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. If they can come in and make it right, there is nothing saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we would necessarily have to charge that disconnect fee. Right?
No, you have to.
Why?
Because when you do the batch in Encode to run your report on who owes and all that, it automatically throws it out there. It automatically does it for everybody.
Right.
It doesn't distinguish
Correct.
between 60 and 55.
And also on that, going back into other parts of our deal here, it also uses the date that they haven't had to have a penalty or cut off to, if there's a problem in the future and we go back and look at it, to where, if we can work with them on a problem, it goes by that date. So now if you've alleviated or eliminated that cutoff date, again, in the idea that that's great help for that individual that needs it, and we all wanna do that. But now, as council member, what criteria are you putting on the fact that they didn't pay their bill on time? So who's going to be the judge of the criteria that council's gonna have to set? So is it, I was sick, or I was in the hospital, or I just forgot to pay it, or my social security check didn't come in because the post office sucks? And having worked there for 28 years, I can say that. So what's the criteria that you're going to establish so that council uses their leeway to do something with that disconnect? How do you establish it? How do you keep somebody from just going, I'm just not gonna pay it until the 28th?
I don't know, somebody said 28 years to figure it out till now, and here we are. So, I mean, and we're trying to figure it out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, you don't have to figure out anything, you don't have to, this can be discussed and thought about. We brought it to council because it was brought to council's attention. So there's still a lot to work on this. The bottom line here is, we have no choice as a city in not allowing this. So what the choice?
Right, which I have.
Exactly, the whole thing is brought up here.
Which that's state law, no issues
Yeah,
whatsoever
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
My issue is, every other citizen gets a late period before they're cut off.
Well, council could take that away. You could make that to where you
And-
didn't. No, David, I am asking you, what is?
But I'm just saying, so if somebody, we have the 7 days here, the grace period, late period, whatever you wanna call it.
Okay.
Senior citizen, they get less than 24 hours. before they're
Only
cut
if
off.
only if they request that change. They don't have to request the change. So not senior citizens, only the people who.
Request the change.
Okay, so
and
right
that's
now,
fine.
3, but say there's 30, or say 300. So those individuals, this is what it affects, what you're asking about. So what is the answer on that? I mean, I've given several different options on it, but that's just information for y'all. Council has to make the decision on what y'all wanna do on that. And I have to continue to give information based on your thoughts and what you're asking, so. Which makes me look like the bad guy, and that's fine. I'm not trying to be the bad guy, so.
My goal here is to find the solution.
Mine too.
There doesn't have to be a decision made tonight. We can think about it, y'all can talk about it with, discuss it with yourself and what other options, and we can bring it back.
Yeah, because this is still in effect, so,
Yes.
so anybody out there, 60 years or older, you can come tomorrow and do this. We will figure out the cutoff and all that stuff as it goes. And obviously, we're not going to impose something on them until we've decided that. So this is not going to affect them in a negative way. This will still allow them to sign up for this program, so, until we figure out what the answer is.
But I just think, like I said, more time's required to figure out what this is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I'll make a motion to postpone 9.3.
Well,
Then I don't need
we
any-
won't postpone it, all you'll do is just take no action on it.
Take no action.
Just not take no action.
No action taken on 9.3.
Okay.
We will continue to hammer that out. So 9.4, consider with possible action on adopting an ordinance of the City of Clyde amending Exhibit 14A zoning ordinance of the Clyde Code of Ordinances to remove references to Planning and Zoning Commission, providing for related procedural changes, providing repealer and severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
So several years ago, we created a P&Z board because at the time, council there was a lot of things going on there and a lot of development. Council was like, okay, well, you're having just come in here just like tonight, the zoning and stuff like that. So council was being hit right away with that. And then it was taking a longer period of time because you have, it gets brought up, then you can't act on it because you didn't know anything about it. Now you have to do all this. So we put a P and Z board in there, which that would then do all of the background. They do all the footwork, get all the information together. Then when it finally came to council, council could possibly act on it a little faster because it wouldn't have to be put off till the next council meeting. The problem with that was P and Z board didn't meet, didn't stay together, didn't happen. You had a city administrator who took it upon himself to kind of be the board. And so when it got done away with, it got done away with in the correct manner, but it did not get taken out of all of the communication pages. So we don't have a P and Z board, but in the communications page that we use, it says P and Z. So since we don't have it, it has to be amended to say officially that we don't have a P and Z board. So that's all this is. This will allow us to clean up the communications page.
Y'all actually abolished the planning and zoning board last year. We just, this verbiage in one of our ordinances didn't take it out, is what it is.
Any questions for Mr. Brown on that? If not, I would entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to abolish the, adopting an ordinance abolishing the P and Z board.
Okay.
We already did that.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We're
That's why I
just,
looked
we're,
weird
ma-
to
we're,
me.
you're making a motion to amend that exhibit 14A.
Yes. Yes.
To remove P and Z board.
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay.
And we have 9.5 listed, but it's exactly the same thing.
Okay.
9.5 is 9.4.
Okay, a motion by Councilman Mann and a second by Councilwoman Jolly. All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
No, it's not.
That's what I have in there.
Well,
It's 10A.
5 is 10A, it's the subdivision. We missed it on that one too, so it's two.
It's the same thing, but it's for the subdivision, not for the first.
Yes.
So it'll be all the exact same information on this one.
Okay, 9.5, consider with possible action adopting an ordinance of the City of Clyde, amending Exhibit 10A subdivision ordinance of the Clyde Code of Ordinances to remove references to the Planning and Zoning Commission, providing for related procedural changes, providing repealer and severability clause, and establishing an effective date. So, as you said.
Same
it's the
thing.
Same thing. Any other comments, questions on that? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second? Okay, motion by Councilman Mann, second by Councilman White. All those in favor? Okay, that passes unanimously. That concludes our regular agenda, and from what I understand, we don't need.
We do not need an executive session tonight.
So that will bring us to our financial statement. You've had an opportunity to review that. If you have any questions on that for Ms. Thornton or Mr. Brown?
Let me see if I can relocate it. There's probably more for current.
It's our website.
That's our website.
And this is the end of the fiscal year, correct?
It is, yes, sir. Of course, there'll be some journal entries made when our auditor does it, because we have bills that we pay in October that are actually for September, but for all intents purposes, yes.
Where all my circles are. That, I don't know where, page 84 here, general code ordinance update, is that,
It's codifying our ordinances.
so that's like the website that has all our ordinances on it? or
Yeah, we use a company.
Like Yeah, E360 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And once a year, I send all the previous, I like to do it in January for the previous year, send all the ordinance over there. They codify them, update our ordinances book, put it out on the website, and do all that for us. So that's, yeah.
There's a Vulcan.
Material for the road for Henner Sports Complex.
We're reimbursed from the
Right.
from that.
Yes.
So
Right.
it should be a washout.
It is.
Anybody follow stuff I have?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Before you get into this, so
Yes.
So, very last page is adjournment, if y'all don't have anything else. Okay, motion,
I'll make a motion.
okay.
Second.
Councilman White, motion, and Director seconds. All those in favor? All right, this meeting's adjourned. Since I didn't get to hit that on the way in, all right. Appreciate you getting her started for me. There wasn't a whole lot of speed limits observed between Abilene and here.
Yes, ma'am.
Announcement.
I mean,
And we're gonna solve it tonight, so we gotta figure it out.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it. See, and you see it that way, I see it everything that way. You see it that they get no leeway from the 25th on, like I see it. I got an extra 2 days than everybody else, from the 15th to the 25th.
The due date